Thank you very much for joining me today. I know many of you have traveled great distances to be here. This is a big event for us. This is the first global launch in the last 10 years, and I think the excitement that we feel around the Flash technology absolutely deserves a treatment of this kind. I am the product guy. NetApp has always succeeded and competed on the basis of our ability to deliver powerful innovation that takes advantages of technology trends and solves big customer problems with exploiting those technology trends. And I'm absolutely delighted to be standing here today and share with you 3 very exciting new product launches in the area of Flash to complement what is already a very extensive product portfolio. Now, the Flash conversation tends to have many different flavors to it, so it might be useful just to say, what are we talking about? When people talk about Flash, are we talking about all Flash arrays? Are we talking about hybrid arrays and using Flash as caches? Are we talking about server-side Flash? It depends on who you are talking to. It almost is an elephant in the room. Which leg of the elephant you're holding becomes your picture of Flash. So what we thought we'd do is to step back a little bit and really say, what's the comprehensive conversation around Flash that's taking place? Now, the conversation has to really start with workloads. Conversation has to start with what applications the customers are trying to service. And every application has 2 characteristics. What's the capacity requirement of that application? And what's the performance requirement of that application? And that really defines what's the right technology treatment to be able to service that application. The goal tends to be to meet the application service levels at the lowest cost possible. Now, if you think about hard drives, which is historically the way all storage systems have been built in the past, hard drives do capacity really cheaply. They are very stingy in delivering performance. Flash, which is a relatively newer technology, delivers performance really cheaply. It is very expensive on the dimension of capacity. And herein lies the opportunity. The opportunity is about how do you take advantage of Flash where performance is what's required and capacity is not critical? How do you take advantage of hard drives where capacity is the primary vector and performance is irrelevant? And how do you combine the complementary natures of Flash and hard drives in places where both capacity and performance are required? And that becomes the design point for all the technology choices that we make. There are different economic spots. So if it's, like I said, if it's a capacity-oriented application workload, a big content store, a photo repository, hard drive-based architectures are likely to be the most cost-effective architectures for that. Multi-petabyte architectures, but performance isn't a requirement. But then you combine the characteristics of Flash, and for very little Flash, you can accelerate these hard drive-based systems, and you can deliver much higher performance for the same capacity and a slightly more dollars per gigabyte. But the overall cost of the system becomes significantly lower, and that's usually referred to in the industry as hybrid systems. And that would be a combination of hard drive and Flash-based systems. And then a relatively recent conversation that's beginning to take place is there a role for all Flash arrays? And absolutely there is a role for all Flash arrays, because there is enough workloads which are looking for just extreme performance. They're looking for extreme performance either on the basis of IOPS or on the basis of latency, but they're looking for extreme performance, and capacity isn't that much of a requirement, and that is best served, is most economically served by all Flash arrays. So that ends up defining the conversation zone, which is, when are we talking about all Flash arrays? When are we talking about hybrid arrays, which are combining the characteristics of Flash and hard drives? And when are we talking about all hard drive arrays? So NetApp has been in the Flash industry for a long, long time. This conversation has recently become an exciting conversation. Everybody's talking about Flash. It is the new thing. We have been delivering flash as an acceleration to our hard drive systems since 2009. In the form of flash cache, which is basically flash being used as a cache to accelerate the hard drive-based systems. In our medium and large systems, our attach rate of this technology is upwards of 60%. So this is something that, from a customer standpoint, has been a no-brainer choice. Because for the same economics, they end up getting dramatically lower latencies, dramatically higher IOPS, while having all the data management capabilities of data ONTAP, our storage operating system. Then we followed that with leveraging SSDs in the storage systems itself, both the E-series and the FAS-based systems. And there are certain workloads where just by putting SSDs instead of hard drives, we were able to accelerate the amount of performance that the customers were looking for. That's been shipping for the last couple to 3 years. Last year, we introduced another pretty dramatic innovation, which was flash pools, which was combining the characteristics of flash SSDs and the hard drives at the disk layer so that the customers could make a dynamic choice between how much hard drive and how much SSDs and how much hard drives and how much SSDs they wanted to combine so that they could get any range of performance and capacity that they were looking for. That was introduced last year, and already for a technology that's relatively young is showing a phenomenal growth rate. In the last quarter, we grew at 60% over the quarter before. And we fully expect that more and more of NetApp systems will end up becoming hybrid flash pool oriented systems. So these are technologies that are shipping today. These are technologies that our customers are taking advantage of today. We have shipped more than 36 petabytes of flash in the form of these technologies today. And every quarter, that number just keeps going up. So today, I'm very excited to announce three new innovations from NetApp. The three choices that I talked about today, flash cache, flash pools, and SSDs, they are all in that category of hybrid systems. They're basically using the characteristics of flash to accelerate the existing hard drive systems. There is a conversation that takes place around server-side flash. And what is NetApp's position in server-side flash? Flash Excel is our software-based caching solution for server-side flash. And what it really does is it accelerates the application performance dramatically by having a software caching layer that takes advantage of flash in the compute servers themselves by being able to address the performance much closer to the CPU and the application itself. Now, there are different competitive approaches that people have used. We have made a choice which says that we will be hardware agnostic in how the actual flash hardware shows up on the compute server. There are many different ways in which the hardware can show up in the compute server. Could be in the PCIe form factor, could be in the SSD form factor, could be natively embedded in the compute servers by people like Intel. So we are agnostic to how flash shows up in the compute server. Our goal is to make sure that through a software caching layer, we can accelerate the underlying storage systems and take advantage of the fact that there is flash in the compute server. We are beginning to see in the early customers that are deploying it, we are seeing acceleration of up to 80% by taking advantage of this technology. That is a huge source of economic leverage on behalf of our customers. Now, there are many customers who want to buy an integrated solution from NetApp. For those customers, we will absolutely sell them a complete hardware-software solution through our reseller and partner relationships that we have formed with people who offer the flash hardware. But we will work in an agnostic manner with anybody who's providing flash hardware to the compute servers. This is a new technology. It went generally available last week. Very excited about this. The second announcement that we wanted to talk about is an all-flash array called the EF540. This is today's centerpiece. Very exciting. We already have customers who are deploying it and have gotten to a point where we just wanted to share that with the industry broadly. The Flash conversation starts out as a technology conversation, as it should. There is a gazillion startups which are going after this all-flash array market with their own version of all-flash arrays. That conversation starts and stops at the dimension of flash, which is performance. That is a technologist's viewpoint. If you put yourself in the shoes of the customers need more. It's not just about performance, it is about performance combined with enterprise class capabilities. Dimensions of availability, dimensions of support, dimensions of reliability. Those are all absolutely requirements that a customer needs to be able to deploy an exciting new technology in their data center. And this is where the EF540 is so compelling. It combines the performance characteristics, absolutely has to do performance. It combines the performance characteristics of Flash with the enterprise class availability characteristics that we, by being in the industry for the last 20 years, know and understand really, really well. So, like I said, it has to be about performance. And EF540 absolutely delivers the performance. Up to 300,000 IOPS at consistent latency. When we take a look at the competitive offerings out there, there's a lot of chest beating about I can do 1 million IOPS, I can do this, I can do that. But from a customer standpoint, the issue is, can you do that predictably? Can you do that consistently all the time without a compromise? And that's what the EF540 does. It delivers incredibly high performance at consistent latency, at sub-millisecond latency, without any compromise. So, has to start with performance. But then, it is really about all the enterprise capabilities that this product brings to the table. Availability, snapshots and replication data management capabilities, advanced monitoring so that you can figure out what's going on in the system and where there might be trouble spots. Phone home capability for remote support. Global support for customers who don't have data centers which are only local, but actually run a global distributed enterprise IT. All of those are capabilities that we bring to the table because the EF540 is built on a hardened operating system called Centricity. Centricity is powering more than 500,000 systems in the field already. And all of that hardening of that very high performance operating system is really what the EF540 brings to bear. So brings the advantages, the characteristics of the Flash technology with the enterprise capabilities and hardening of the Centricity operating system to deliver the EF540. Comes in a variety of different form factors. Comes in 2U, both 12 and 24 drives, 9.6 or 19.2 terabytes. But the beauty of this architecture, it is seamlessly scalable. And you can scale this architecture to any amount of capacity because that is inherently built into the design architecture of the product. So very proud to announce this product today, big launch. Customers who are already using this product, this is a big, big consumer media company which did a bake-off. All the usual suspects were there in the bake-off, all the people that you read about or write about, and we won the deal. And the reason why we won the deal is because we were the only ones who could deliver low latency consistently. And this is where the specmanship, the chest beating, really comes to the test of reality and enterprise requirements. And the customers basically said, we would much rather bet what is a mission critical application, what is an incredibly business critical application on a technology from a vendor who we can trust. And that becomes critical. The second big announcement that I wanted to make is preview with you another all-flash array product line called the FlashArray product line. And the difference between FlashArray product line and the EF540 is it takes where EF540 stops and builds upon itself. It is a clean sheet of paper redesign of the storage operating system that is leveraging the last 20 years of know-how and understanding that NetApp has built on what are all the various data management challenges and requirements that our customers have in being able to create large-scale storage infrastructure. So, like I said, it starts with performance. You need to have enterprise application capabilities on top of that. And then you need to layer on top of that other dimensions. Storage efficiency, cost efficiency becomes absolutely critical. And through the clever application of software-defined capabilities, things like global inline deduplication, inline compression, those all become capabilities that we can layer on top of that. And in many ways, Flash actually becomes a very interesting enabling technology that allows us to implement those capabilities dramatically simpler than a traditional hard drive-based architecture could. We layer on top of that scale out. Scale out in a hard drive-based system requirement is something that has been an add-on thinking, add-on technology. In a flash-based system, scale out becomes an absolutely critical requirement because the computing to flash ratios are very, very different than computing to hard drive ratios. So inherent seamless scale out needs to become a part of the core design. It's not something that you can bolt on top later on. So FlashArray is very exciting. We have taken one of our leading technologist leaders, taken him out of his job, taken some of our best and brightest engineers, sequestered them into a team, and said, what you need to leverage is all the benefits of 20 years of know-how that we have developed and your intellectual capital. But take that and rewrite a storage operating system from the ground up, which has been designed exclusively for exploiting the capabilities of Flash. And that's what the FlashArray system is all about. That's work in progress. People are working incredibly hard. And we will be beta demoing that product with our customers in the middle of this year. Will be generally available at the beginning of next year. So those are the three big announcements that I just wanted to share with you. Very exciting as a technologist to be able to share that with you. Server-side flash with FlashXL, and 2 new product families going after all flash arrays in the form of EF540 and the FlashArray product line. So to bring it back to the way Tom talked about this, to us, Flash is an enabling technology that will be applicable to every single form of storage infrastructure and architecture choices that our customers will be making. We expect more and more of the business applications to reside in a shared infrastructure powered by data ONTAP, and we will accelerate data ONTAP-based systems every which way we can to dramatically reduce the cost of deploying those systems, whether it is controller-based cache in Flash Cache, disk-based caches in FlashPool, or server-based caches in FlashXL. In addition, we absolutely expect that there will be enough workloads, and there will be a growing number of workloads, which will have an incredibly high IOPS or consistent latency requirement, and they will be served by all flash arrays. We are shipping and selling the EF540 today, and we are developing a grounds-up FlashArray product line, which will be available later this year. So, very excited to share that with you. And with that, I just wanted to switch gears over here. I'm very fortunate to be joined by